everyone, welcome back to VeloView, your ultimate destination for everything automotive, where we dive deep into the stories, design, and soul behind the world's most iconic machines. Today, we're taking a nostalgic ride into two unforgettable legends from the past, the Jaguar XK150 and the Fiat 500. Though these cars come from completely different worlds, both left a mark on automotive history that still shines today. One was a symbol of British power and luxury, the other a masterpiece of Italian simplicity and charm. Together, they represent two sides of the same golden era, the spirit of motoring when cars had character, emotion, and identity. The Jaguar XK150 was the final evolution of the XK line that began with the XK120 and XK140. While its production ran between 1957 and 1961, by 1970 it had already achieved classic status. It was a car that perfectly captured the sophistication of post-war Britain, combining graceful styling with thrilling performance. Its design was a subtle refinement over its predecessors. The body was slightly wider, the windshield now a single curved piece instead of a split one, and the longer doors gave it a sleeker look and easier access. The XK150 was less raw than the XK120 but far more comfortable, bridging the gap between sports car and grand tourer. Under its long, elegant bonnet lay one of Jaguar's greatest achievements, the inline-six double overhead cam engine. The standard version produced around 190 horsepower from its 3.4 liters, but enthusiasts craved the XK150S model, which with triple SU carburetors pushed power up to 265 horsepower. For its time, this was extraordinary. The XK150 could reach 135 miles per hour and accelerate from 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds. These numbers were astonishing in an era when most family cars struggled to hit 80. But what made the XK150 truly special wasn't just its performance figures, it was the way it delivered them. The car was smooth yet powerful, elegant yet fierce. And it was one of the first production cars to feature four-wheel disc brakes, giving it unmatched control and stopping power for its generation. Inside, the Jaguar XK150 felt like a gentleman's lounge on wheels. There were polished wooden dashboards, supple leather seats, and chrome dials that seemed to glow in the dim light. Everything about it was handcrafted with care, built not just to move fast but to move beautifully. The driving experience was immersive. The steering was heavy but communicative, demanding engagement from the driver. The suspension was firm yet forgiving, perfect for sweeping through long countryside roads. And the exhaust note, that rich, throaty growl from the straight six, gave the car a distinct voice that turned every journey into an experience. By 1970, the XK150 was already replaced by the E-Type, but it retained a loyal following. Collectors loved it for its balance of classic design and mechanical sophistication. It was a symbol of an era when Jaguar stood at the forefront of innovation, building cars that were both thrilling and refined. Even today, the XK150 represents a form of elegance that has all but vanished. It was a car that carried itself with confidence and class, and it still turns heads more than half a century later. Now, if the Jaguar XK150 represented power and prestige, the Fiat 500 represented simplicity, charm, and accessibility. The Fiat 500 was Italy's post-war miracle, a small, affordable city car that brought mobility to millions. Produced from 1957 until 1975, it became a symbol of freedom and optimism for a recovering nation. By 1970, the Fiat 500 was everywhere. It was the car that filled Italian streets with energy, buzzing through narrow alleyways and steep hills with an unmistakable hum. The Fiat 500 was a marvel of efficiency. Measuring just under 9 feet long, it was tiny but brilliantly designed. Every inch served a purpose. Under the rear lid sat a small air-cooled two-cylinder engine that produced between 18 and 21 horsepower depending on the model. It may sound modest, but this was enough to carry two adults and luggage through city streets at speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. The 500 was never about speed, it was about freedom. It was about giving ordinary people the chance to drive, to explore, and to enjoy life beyond the neighborhood. The design of the Fiat 500 was pure charm. Its rounded body, wide-eyed headlights, and small smiling grille made it look friendly and approachable. The interior was as minimal as it gets, just a simple dashboard, a couple of switches, and thin seats. Yet, it had everything you needed and nothing you didn't. The canvas sunroof could roll back, letting in the open air and sunlight, adding to the sense of joy that the car embodied. Driving the Fiat 500 was an adventure. The tiny engine would hum cheerfully behind you, and you'd feel every vibration through the wheel and pedals. The steering was light, and the car felt nimble and alive. It wasn't fast, but it was incredibly fun. On Italian streets filled with scooters and laughter, the Fiat 500 felt right at home. It was the perfect city car, easy to park, cheap to maintain, and full of personality. While the Jaguar XK150 was a car of exclusivity, the Fiat 500 was a car of the people. It wasn't built for speed but for simplicity and reliability. It became part of Italian culture, appearing in movies, songs, and memories. It taught a generation that driving could be joyful, not just practical. Even today, classic Fiat 500s are adored by enthusiasts all over the world, not for what they can do, but for how they make you feel. Putting the Jaguar XK150 and Fiat 500 side by side is like comparing two different philosophies of life. The Jaguar was for those who sought luxury, performance, and status. The Fiat was for those who wanted freedom, affordability, and fun. One was the dream car parked in the driveway of a country estate, the other was the humble companion that took families on weekend trips to the beach. Yet, both cars shared something deeper. They were born out of passion, crafted with care, and built to bring emotion to driving. These two icons remind us of what made classic cars so special. The Jaguar XK150 seduces you with elegance and power, while the Fiat 500 warms your heart with its simplicity and charm. They belong to an era when cars weren't just machines but expressions of personality and culture. In today's world of digital dashboards and automated driving, the pure, analog feel of these classics is a beautiful reminder of what driving truly means. So, whether you dream of gliding down open roads in the powerful, graceful Jaguar XK150 or weaving through city streets in the cheerful Fiat 500, both cars represent something timeless: the joy of driving, the art of design, and the soul of motoring. They stand as rolling reminders that a car can be more than transport, it can be an emotion, a memory, a story on wheels. And that wraps up today's journey through two legends that defined an era. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep exploring the stories of classic cars, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to VeloView for more timeless automotive tales. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.